Injustice is our twist on the blockbuster, over-the-top, superhero game in a fighting game shell with, trying to add some pretty major components to kind of shake up the fighting game genre. The characters that we have in the game, we're really trying to kind of really show a wide variety of characters, from in terms of gameplay. That's one of the big kind of goals that we have, is to have players that are fighters that feel completely different from one another. So, Grundy's this big kind of over-the-top hulking character. Superman's more of a graceful power character, and we actually have two classes of characters. The gadget characters, Batman, and then there are other characters like the power characters, Superman, Grundy, and whatnot. And it's this kind of mix between these two types of characters, how they use the environments, that we really want to kind of like have them not only kind of feel different because of the characters that they are, but also what they can do in the game. And the environment's role is the big kind of feature that we're really kind of pushing with it. If you think of like your environment as kind of like a palette of where you can go, there's always two edges to the screen. We really wanted to put objects scattered throughout the environment that players can use, either above their heads, on the edges of the arenas, inside the environment. They can actually use them inside the environment. We really wanted to have that palette of tools for the players to use as they're playing. And then on top of that is we have these transitions into completely new arenas with a completely different set of tools and environments. So you're really going to want to care where you are, in which background, with which character. The combination of those, we're hoping that's going to really kind of mix up the whole feeling, so you're not feeling like you're playing the same game. Depending on who you're playing against is going to also matter where you're playing against. There's a lot of new people at DC, and our experience with them has been great. They've let us really diverge the costumes for some of their characters a lot. You're really going to see some wild interpretations of characters that you're used to looking one way, but they have I wouldn't call it like a Mortal Kombat twist to it, but it's kind of like a Mortal Kombat twist to it. So it's kind of like a weird, we're really into armor and all that stuff, and so we can't wait for people to see kind of our renditions of the characters that they've already know what they look like. There's always a balance between the different renditions of all the incarnations that you've seen of Batman over the years. We wanted to do something that's kind of like our how we would have done Batman, and the same with other characters, Grundy, Superman, and Wonder Woman, all that. And but you wouldn't believe how many incarnations that we've had. There's got to be 100 versions of every character that we've seen, kind of whittled down to what we ended up using there. So, to me, it's just a blur. I've just seen so many versions of it. I couldn't tell you what he looks like, but our game has multiple versions also within the game. So it's really kind of a nice big twist that we're going to add to it. From our perspective, once we got somebody, like Superman or Wonder Woman picking up a car and slamming on them, and the collision range is a full screen, it's hard to kind of top that, and so we really wanted to, what we developed was we gave multiple uses of it. So Batman, on the other hand, he can use the car in two different ways, and someone like Wonder Woman uses it in different ways than Superman can. So it's actually, you first see something as outrageous as like a car slam, and you think, oh, I want to play as a power character. But then you start seeing all the cool stuff that the gadget guys can do, and is actually in some ways more powerful. So it's a fun balancing game. But we really, again, our goal is to we don't want everybody to kind of feel like, oh, every character does the same thing with every background object. We really wanted to kind of mix it up to make it that many more variables involved in that whole fighting game, rock, paper, scissors. Coming out in 2013. I guess that's the broad range date, which I'm sure we're going to be narrowing down as information kind of is released.